All right, today we're going to dive into one of our most fundamental challenges, securing our water. We're going to take a look at a company called CMS Consulting and really unpack how they're engineering sustainable solutions for some pretty complex water problems. Let's just start with a question that really it affects every single one of us. From the water that flows into our cities to the health of our rivers, making sure it's secure is one of the biggest challenges of our time. And the thing is, that security is totally under threat. Our water systems are basically facing two main dangers. First, you've got contamination, stuff poisoning our supply. And then there's encroachment, which is just shrinking our natural water bodies. And these aren't just small problems. They threaten entire ecosystems, our communities, and our industries. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by really understanding the challenge. Then we'll look at the sustainable solutions that CMS Consulting is bringing to the table. After that, we'll explore their specific areas of expertise, dig into their data-driven process, and then wrap up by seeing how this all contributes to engineering a better water future for all of us. Okay, first up, the water challenge. Now, when we think about water problems, a lot of us immediately think of scarcity, right? Not enough water. But the issue is actually way broader than that. It's about how we manage the water we do have, especially as our cities get bigger and the demands from both urban and rural areas put this incredible pressure on our natural systems. So, how in the world do you tackle a problem that massive? Well, this brings us right to the core of our explainer, sustainable solutions, and the company at the heart of them, CMS Consulting. They're a firm that's focused specifically on taking these exact issues head-on. This mission statement, it just gets right to the heart of what they do. It's not just about pointing out the problems. It's about creating real-world, long-lasting solutions for communities, for ecosystems, and for industries. Now, here's what I think is so interesting about their approach. It's not all about concrete and pipes. They actually blend modern engineering with solutions that are inspired by nature itself. It's a concept called nature-based interventions. So think about it like this. Instead of just building a bigger drain to handle flooding, they might restore a wetland nearby, and that wetland naturally filters water and prevents flooding. It's all about working with the environment, not against it. Super smart. Okay, so turning those big ideas into actual reality takes a whole range of skills. And that brings us to their spectrum of expertise. They don't just do one thing. They pretty much cover the entire water management lifecycle. So let's take a look at the different areas they work in. You can see their work is incredibly diverse. It spans these four main areas. So one day they might be optimizing drainage in a big city, and the next they're creating sustainable water plans for huge industries, or building rainwater harvesting systems for rural communities. And they even need projects to restore our natural environments. And this slide, this really shows you the how. It shows how they pair these advanced tools with real tangible outcomes. For instance, they use this complex hydraulic modeling software, things with names like SWMM5 and HECRAS, to basically simulate how water flows and predict where flooding might happen. They use programming languages like Python and mapping tools like GIS to analyze just massive amounts of data. And all of that lets them create plans that are based on actual evidence for everything from flood control to resilient drainage. So let's zoom in a bit on their key services. This is where the real technical work happens. Hydraulic modeling, that means they can create what's essentially a digital twin of a river to see how it might flood during a huge storm. Hydrogeological surveys help them map out underground water sources so we can protect them. And it all comes together in these comprehensive storm water management plans for entire communities, making sure they're ready for heavy rainfall. Now, all this expertise is organized into a really clear, data-driven process. And this part is key. Their solutions are absolutely not based on guesswork. They follow a scientific, methodical approach for every single project. Their whole approach follows this logical, four-step process. It all starts with a deep dive, really understanding a site's unique challenges. Then they move to precision data collection and analysis. After that, it's all about innovative design. And finally, implementation with long-term monitoring to make sure it's all working. And right at the heart of this process is their data engine. Every single plan is built on a foundation of hard evidence. They're using powerful tools for this, programming with Python to automate analysis, managing massive data sets with SQL, and creating these detailed layered maps with GIS. This lets them see patterns, create predictive models, and make sure every solution is perfectly optimized for the real-world conditions of each project. And they don't just apply this rigor to their projects, they apply it to themselves. This chart shows their own internal performance metrics. And you can see these really high scores for both strategic planning, which is all about designing the right solution, and operational efficiency, which is about putting it in place in the best way possible. It just shows a deep commitment to actually delivering results. So this brings us to the big picture, the lasting impact of all this work. It's about way more than just individual projects. It's about building a foundation for a more secure and sustainable future for all of us. Ultimately, when you boil it all down, everything they do ladders up to this one single goal. By integrating that cutting-edge technology with nature-based principles, their work is about making sure that clean, reliable water is available for everyone and everything that depends on it. And this leaves us with a final, really important question to think about. As our water challenges keep evolving, what role is technology going to play? What new data-driven approaches are going to pop up to help us protect and manage our planet's most essential resource? It's something we're all going to be a part of. So if you want to learn more about the work CMS Consulting is doing to engineer a more sustainable water future, here's all their contact information. Thanks for tuning in.